So, why is it valuable to work with your hands? Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Creative Exploration series. This week I wanted to talk about the value of working with your hands, or just working away from the computer, working in analog. And I think this is incredibly important because it allows you to express yourself in a way that doesn't really involve clicking with your mouse or dragging or, using your computer in the traditional sense. And I think this is really important because the computer is a tool. It's a very, very powerful tool, but it's still a tool. Basically, it's another layer that you have to work with between you and your art. And I've said this before, but a lot of what you're doing when you're creating art is you're translating what you have in your head onto the paper or onto the desktop or wherever you're doing your work. And when you're using your computer, that's an extra layer of abstraction that you're working with. And it's important to kind of reduce that friction, especially when you're still kind of in the early stages of creating your project, where it's still very loose, it's still very fluid, and you want to make sure that you express as many ideas as possible so you can kind of shuffle through what works and what doesn't. And this is something that kind of shows up a lot, but even like famous artists or successful artists who work digitally still carry around a sketchbook. And I think that it's important to still have that analog representation of your art as well. But I don't think it's just like having a sketchbook for putting down ideas. One of the things with music that I've found over the past couple years is that if I start playing piano and recording my piano playing, even though it's not perfect when I put it into a song, it still sounds far more expressive. It sounds far more human than it would if I was just clicking in notes. And even though the notes would be technically correct and perfect, having those imperfections, because I used my hands, because I worked directly with the music, actually makes the song more interesting to listen to. And if you've been watching some of the 2-hour track challenges, lately I got a breath controller, which allows me to control instruments using the pressure of my breath or my bite, like I would with a reeded instrument, with an actual like saxophone or something. And having that control over the instrument opens up a wide variety of expressions that I really could not easily do if I was just clicking and dragging inside of my software. So even if you can't get away from a computer for your work, there are still options for creating more expressive ways of inputting that work into the computer. Wacom tablets are another great example. Instead of like using your mouse to draw, you can use an actual tablet with a pen to draw in there, and it allows much more creative expression than you could do with just a mouse. And being able to work in an expressive environment will create much more depth to your art, and I think that it will greatly enhance the work that you're doing. So thank you so much for watching this. I would really love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. This is something that I've actually really recently discovered, and it's been really huge for me to be able to express myself more dynamically. Even though it's still on the computer, I can still express myself in ways that I really couldn't before with just a keyboard and mouse. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Be remarkable. As always, this episode is sponsored by these fantastic Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your support.